be absolutely thriving. None of those things will happen if we aren't a city. None of those things have the same kind of backbone, the same kind of influence, the same kind of integrity if we're in a bankrupt state. So we have to move forward. And for the first time ever, as I came and presented to this group, our city manager has come forward with a very succinct and critical 5-year plan that came out of the Financing City Services Task Force. And this plan has been bantered around. It's almost taken a life on its own. I can't believe it. Oh, they're talking about the 5-year plan again, like as though it's all about taxes. Folks, it's not. We're looking at $8 million from our city employees. And as I said to you, we have marched down the path of that with the contracts. It's been very hard. It's been, I can't even, we're not done. We've got 4 more contracts to go. But in each and every case, we've gotten what we needed to move forward for the next 2 years. We will have to address that again as we move forward in the future. I also want you to know that it's then, after that $8 million, that we're also asking for $6 million from the public. You have to decide. You're the folks that will have to decide what services are worth what to you. When you think about our total city budget, I want you to understand, out of about $25 million, $9 million of it is police, another 5, almost 6 is fire, and the bulk of those monies come out of individual salaries. So we have cut again, and we have cut some more. But Jerry knows that I was going to come to him eventually, because we face new challenges. Some of you have seen the governor's proposals on cuts. The state is not without their challenge. The predictions were $20 billion deficits for 5 years, and it looks more like what, 25, 28? Yeah. I admire his efforts. I appreciate his efforts, but the reason I worked on Prop 22 is because I want you to fix it. And stop taking my money. Out of your property tax, you see your total property tax bill and you think, oh, well, I'm spending so much in taxes. What actually goes to your local government is about 21% of that. You know, kind of through all the avenues possible. So we're collecting somewhere around $24 million, $23 to $24 million every year for the last, 10 years. We've been pretty flat. We get 1 penny of your sales tax. There's some interesting mechanisms that happen, and don't even begin to ask me to explain the triple flip or the vehicle licensing fees or any of those wonderful mechanisms. But I want to have Jerry hear one thing that I want you to address. And this thing is that 40% of your state budget is education. Education is invaluable. We cannot afford, for our future, to have a populace that does not have a strong basis in education. And I want to point out to you that Pacifica, when we divided up what the cities get, the school districts get some years back, in terms of percentages, because of our property values, we got much less than places like Woodside. We spend way less per student than places like Woodside, like Hillsborough, no offense. And yet, I don't see redevelopment in Woodside. I don't see redevelopment areas in places like Hillsborough. So that if we take and give up our future redevelopment just at the point where we're really actually finally beginning to capitalize on it, that's like a double whammy if we get cut in our schools at the same time to backfill that. I wish there was a way to make that more fair. And I really hope that you address that somehow within that concept. So that's why I already told him I was going to put that forward. But it's just an issue that I have just in terms of fairness. I believe in education. I don't want the state to cut education money. I understand you have limited dollars, but I gotta tell you, we're given in a bunch of different ways. So, just a thought. With that said, we're gonna ask more from the community. I'm sorry, I don't know that we're gonna vote on it yet. I can't speak for the council. I can tell you as part of the 5-year plan, we need to come back with the fire assessment. We need to put it in front of you and have you decide. And it really is a decision that you as a community have to make. I can't make it for you because the next step, even after we've cut employees, even after we've asked more from our visitors, our next step is really draconian cuts. We've combined departments, cut people off, and laid people off. As the police chief said at Valamar when we had a huge meeting last week, we're down 11 officers. You know, we can't, I don't know where you're gonna lose a service somewhere. So it's a long time before those potholes get filled. With that said, I want to remind you that it's not just police and fire that serves you. It's not. It's who comes out in the storm to unclog that storm drain because it's flooding your street. It's who picks up the tree that has blown down across your street. It's who feeds the seniors and does the Meals on Wheels when, I haven't even mentioned the Port County, you guys. I don't know what you're gonna do. Yeah, I know. But they run those social programs, and when they can't, we try to backfill it. Who's gonna take care of the seniors? Who's gonna take care of our child care? We provide some of those kinds of services, and who takes care of what makes up the vibrancy of our community? There are so many things that come forward. We have a youth advisory committee Sue's helped with, and they came forward, they formed themselves, and they're like this, they want to do this little project of having, you know, a movie night. And they're trying to ask us for money.